Hey there, guys and gals. You're listening to the Tempest Universe. This is the Tempest Universe.
Hey, welcome back to the Tempest Universe. I am your host, Manny. And I hope that you guys had the opportunity to listen to the interview with Jason Williams over the weekend on Saturday. As a matter of fact, Jason Williams from the up-and-coming SETI project out of the UK with a new take on what to listen for in the search for extraterrestrial life. And if you went in to your podcast app this weekend, you heard that, they're going to keep it close to home. Hopefully, I got my fingers crossed that they're not searching billions of light years away. But the only way that you're going to know that interview even happened is if, one, you follow me on social media, or two, you actually are subscribed to the podcast somewhere. It was pretty good. The one thing that happens when I do these interviews, they're done through Skype, and Jason had his video open. Me, I don't keep it open. It's all audio when it's the podcast because, video just tends to slow things down when you're just doing an audio podcast. But what's funny is that his enthusiasm for the topic, it just came through on video. And that's why, I kept on pressing him to come over to the YouTube channel in order to show us how they track meteors, because it's fantastic. But, in hindsight, I'm thinking, well, I guess we kind of have to have like a meteor shower in order for that to happen. So I'll get with him so that we can coordinate this with some kind of a meteor shower event. Or maybe we can find out if he can track. Yeah, those stories that come out when they're saying, there's going to be some big gigantic rock coming past the Earth, and it could be the game ender. And usually it's about, freaking quadrillion miles away. But maybe I got to find out if maybe he can track some of those if the signal is that strong. Either way, the Arecibo shouldn't be ready by then anyway. But he says he'll probably have sketches or renderings of what the radio telescope is going to look like. So we'll see what happens. There's no timeline for that to be completed. So because they are a nonprofit, they get it as they can. They get to it when they get to it. There's not exactly a whole big rush. But anyway, it's a good idea. I kind of like the whole technisignature thing. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sinus issue today. So we'll see what happens. More to come on that, I'm sure. Well, I also received, since some of you don't follow on social media because you're afraid that someone's going to follow you, or that somebody's watching your every move, which really they are. Let's not even joke around about that. We actually received 3 copies of Avi Loeb's book, The Ex-Harvard Professor. We've got 3 of his books here. I found a way to make this into a kind of like a sweepstakes, like a legitimate sweepstakes. Like you go in and you earn, kind of like raffles for it. But that'll be ready by Wednesday. Wednesday, on that podcast episode, I'll have the details and the link for you to do it, to get in there. And it's going to be based on sharing the podcast. It's one of the things that's difficult to monitor, but this website can do it. And so depending on how much sharing and the following that you do for the podcast, you will receive entries for the 2 books. Now, the 2 first books are going to go in the month of February. In March, the 3rd book and something else will be raffled. But the 3rd book is the one that I'm going to read. And I figure we can throw in a bunch of other stuff, just in the box. Memorabilia, UFO Buster Radio stuff that I still have, sitting around somewhere, as well as an autographed picture of Bugs, because he is the UFO hunter from Brokeback Mountain. But those are the things that I'm going to do to share with you guys. And all you got to do is share, subscribe, tell a friend, whatever it is, and you will get automatically entries into the giveaway of the 2 books. During this time, I'm going to do my best to reach out to Avi and see if you'll come on the podcast, But, things like that are only possible through sharing the podcast. Because the more people see the podcast, the more they are willing to show up and have a discussion about what they're doing, whether it be in science, whether it be in the paranormal realm, or if it's in ufology. But we got to get the word out. And there's no one better to get the word out than the people that listen to the podcast. It's you guys that do it. Listen to Bugs right now. He's licking his behind. Because I have a bit of a sinus headache today, I decided that today's music is going to be all about reggae. So enjoy it. You might want to hit pause, get yourself some rum, or smoke a big cigar. Whatever you need to do to enjoy the reggae music, do it now. If you're at work, head over to the trunk of your car. You get that bottle of rum out of there. You take a couple of swigs and go back to work, back to your desk, and then listen to the podcast and really enjoy it. But that's what's going on today. And I do got folks live in the chat. So what's up to the Norm? We got Dre. We got Gabe. We got the Puckster. Pucky's on there. Yeah, let's see. Scoring down. The scoring. That's what I said, man. I mean, I'm so congested. It's not even funny. Dave from Australia. I got a story for Dave, too. He probably knows all about this out in Aussie land. I know he knows the story. He probably started the issue. I'll be honest with you. So let's go ahead and get started. Why did we go through like 2 days of, nail biting, edge of your seat? SN9 is going to take off. And today, February 1st, there's nothing other than bad news coming out of the SpaceX camp. I don't get it. What the hell? Can we please, somebody, even accidentally, can somebody brush up a body part against the red button and just let that rocket fly, for the love of Pete? This is so unnerving. It really is up to you what body part you want to pick, but just don't get caught on camera. Object spotted by pilot was lenticular cloud, not UFO, according to scientists. Yeah, already. Now, we don't... I don't get the cloud thing, especially when you're talking about a pilot. There is a scientist named Javed Sami out of the Punjab University, and he's a space scientist. So why the fuck he's talking about clouds, I don't know. But apparently on Saturday, he got a hold of that report that we talked about. And I think it was last Wednesday. Actually, no, it's not Wednesday. I think it was Saturday. I talked about it. Anyway, whatever day it happened, the Pakistani international airline pilot who said that he was in mid-flight, he was heading into land when he saw a gigantic-ass UFO, or he thought maybe it could have been another planet, like somebody put a artificial planet there, or it was the International Space Station. This is a pilot now. This is not someone who just jumped on the plane for the first time and mistook a lenticular cloud for a UFO. It bugs me when scientists say that pilots are so fucking dumb that they don't categorize clouds correctly. And they say that they're, artificial planets. There's got to be something wrong with that. But besides that, you also have the people on the ground in a nearby village who were also reporting this UFO. They took out their cameras and they were videotaping it. But Mr. Sammy here, or Professor Sammy, Scientist Sammy, whatever the hell his title is, he says that basically, as a space scientist, he can tell you that planes flying at about an altitude of 37,000 feet usually can see these lenticular clouds. He said that the PIA plane was at an altitude of 1,000 feet when the UFO, quote-unquote, cloud was spotted. He says if you take a picture of an object at a speed of 500 to 900 kilometers per hour, its shape spreads. The thing is, Professor Sammy, if you're listening and you decide that you want to go into the description of the podcast, there is a link there that's titled The Pilot's Video. I want you to click on that, Professor Sammy, because that's not a fucking cloud. It's not a cloud. If it is the only damn cloud in the sky. It was one lenticular cloud so damn far away that no one could tell what the hell it was. And you hear the pilot. Actually, this was a good clip of the video that he took of this particular UFO because you hear him. He's trying to look out the window, trying to figure out what the hell it is. He even drops an F-bomb. Pakistanis are cool now. He dropped an F-bomb saying, what the fuck is that? That's what he said. I just have a hard time when someone who is in the sky all the fucking time says that something is unidentified, and all of a sudden we say it's a cloud. Is it swamp gas? Maybe. Did he receive a probe before he got on the airplane? Did he receive a probing while he was on the airplane? And so he was confused about what he saw. I don't understand how that works. It's like, taking someone who is a professional at what they do it all the damn time. They've mastered some of their career in identifying things, seeing things, and doing their job, but you're going to tell them no. What you saw was a cloud, dumbass. Makes no sense to me. Now, the one thing I did is I went through quite a few, I would say about hundreds, plural, of lenticular cloud pictures on YouTube. I'm sorry, not YouTube. Well, I did see a lenticular cloud video, but the rest were pictures on Google, and none of them, not a single one, looked like what was on that video. So for fuck's sake, Sammy, what is it you're talking about? What are you referring to? How could this be? And then how are you going to go back and, after the fact, talking about it was lenticular cloud? Did you see it from your Punjab University office? Probably not. I would think that the Punjab University space scientist is kind of, assuming what happened. He's putting 2 and 3 together and coming up with 4. And figures that is close enough. We're going to go with this. I want to be famous too. I want to get my name in the paper. I want people to talk about me. The worst thing is that the damn thing was spotted on January 23rd. So you are like way too late, Punjabi university guy. I mean, there's just no respect here. It's like, really, that is so messed up. But don't take my word for it. The video from YouTube is linked in the description, so check it out. I mean, you guys know what these lenticular clouds look like. They look like a big disc in the sky, but usually there's more than one, and sometimes if they're over a mountain, there looks like a stack of them on top of each other, and they're spread out pretty wide. And some people say that it caused like a kind of like a lens effect in the lighting, but still, there is no way. That was a Death Star dude over in Punjab University. That's what he saw. So don't shit on his parade. Come on. Be nice. It just bugs me that people do that. And this is the 23rd. You're going to respond, over a week later? Talking about it was a cloud. What the hell? Go back to your schooling or something. I don't know. There probably is nobody in the school anyway. Thanks to Wuhan. People are just going around just starting shit in the name of science. There's more to their article. You can check the link in the description and let me know what you think. Do you think that Mr. Punjab University scientist from space, Javid Semi, is correct? Is that a lenticular cloud? I don't think so. I really don't. He just had nothing to do. Nothing to do at all.
Let me say everything is not okay. Don't recognize you anymore. Nothing's like it was before. Oh, 'cause I can understand you, darling. Feels like I never be enough. If you could only understand me and show me that you want my love. We keep running from the don't wanna stay this way. Are we still the same? Nobody dares to say. Speak to me, baby, keep running from the pain. Don't wanna stay this way. Are we still the same? Nobody dares to say. Speak to me, baby. I really hate to see the look is written all over your face. Yeah. But I don't wanna beat around the bush. Let's cut to the chase. Oh, 'cause I can understand you, darling. Feels like I never be enough. If you could only understand me and show me that you want my love. We keep running from the pain. Don't wanna stay this way. Are we still the same? Nobody dares to say.
I know the folks in California are just listening to podcasts, got their hands up in the air, and they're lit right now because, it's probably one of the only states that would outright enjoy this podcast today, thanks to the reggae music. Maybe tomorrow we'll do country. Maybe we can do that because, everybody loves a little country.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
This one was kind of like a shocker to me because I've never seen any UFO reports coming out of TMZ. Like, they're usually about, they got TMZ Sports, they do all the actors, all the Hollywood nonsense, but now we got UFO reports. Everybody and their grandma is on UFO stuff. And, there's a lot of people saying that this is going to be the hyper year for ufology. Everyone's going to be on edge for all sorts of reasons, right? Reports, stuff being released. We're waiting on this. We're waiting on that. So this is the year where everybody is going to get on the ufology train. I mean, might as well, right? It's probably better than having to deal with COVID. Their story had to do about a UFO sighting, and they're calling it clear shots of a mothership on the outskirts of LA. I don't know. The eyewitness shot these photos, and they were heading south on the 101 freeway, just outside of Thousand Oaks, and she was approaching Westlake Village around sunset. So there's a bit of a, I don't know, it's a situation basically where you have all these light effects happening from inside your car. We've seen so many videos of traffic going by in the opposite direction, but causing a kind of like a reflection, but it just hits your windshield in some freaky kind of way where it just looks like it's a UFO streaking across the sky. And depending on your state at the time, you might be a little sleepy, you might be a little high, I don't know, but you actually see that like it's a phenomena happening there. There's a UFO, a mothership. Well, anyway, they were heading down there, and apparently the thing was hovering in the sky, going in the same direction she was heading. Like they were going to the same store or something. But according to this, there was a group of lights trailing behind it. See what I mean? It almost seems, just from that what she's seeing is a reflection from the environment around her while she's on the highway. But I digress, because, people want to believe in this. They do. So she took 3 consecutive photos as quickly as she could while she was driving. Like, who's holding the steering wheel? She must have been in a Tesla. So she took these pictures, but she says that the object itself seemed to change position. And it even tilted ever so slightly and moving to a new spot in the sky while she's taking pictures and driving at the same time. She says that the UFO was only visible for a few seconds before it literally vanished into thin air, like someone turned off their lights. The cool thing about TMZ and what they did was, some of these places, they'll report it, they'll give their opinion, they'll just shoot it down and say, no, it's not a UFO, or they'll leave it in a question mark. What the hell is this? Can anybody explain this? Hoping that someone that reads it will come back and say, hey, I was there. This is what it is. What they did is that they got one of their graphic artists and they did an experiment with stock images of glowing discs and UFOs and flying saucers, basically. And they tried to recreate the image that was being shared by this individual, by the witness. And they manipulated it. They tried all kind of things. They did side-by-sides in the article, believe it or not. And actually, I think they came pretty close in showing that it could have been doctored up using like a Photoshop type of program. But the graphic artist said it would be kind of difficult to cut and paste all these images to try to get the same angles as what the eyewitness took a picture of. So they concluded that the image was legit. and that it was probably not Photoshopped. And I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. It probably was not Photoshopped. But what I'm saying is it was taken from inside of a vehicle, because you can see the dashboard on some of these pictures, and what this person is seeing is reflections from the 101 freeway. Other cars, lights. It was at sunset. Sun's going down. We have cars with lights on. That really is what I thought. And it takes me back to one report we had a few years ago where someone was reporting that they saw an armada of UFOs while they were sitting in their car. Well, yeah, what you saw was reflections from the cars in the opposite direction, their headlights streaking across your windshield. I think it's the same effect here. I really don't think she saw a UFO, but I could be wrong. You could check out the TMZ link for this UFO and look at the side-by-side, because they did a pretty good job. Their graphic artist actually came pretty close to recreating that particular image. But, again, that's my theory. That's my explanation for it, and I'm sticking to it. It's just a bunch of lights being reflected. That's it. Unfortunately, it's a no-go for her. Now, who the hell knows? I want to know, how did she stay on the road while taking these 3 pictures and trying to keep this thing in frame, while she was driving the 101? It's crazy. That's dangerous as it is. I've never been on the 101 freeway, but I hear it's not exactly a place that you want to go hands-free and take pictures of light reflecting on your windshield. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So there you go. Check this out.
Waking up dizzy in the morning. We fight a lot. Don't even know about what. I just want you to leave, darling. It's my only hope. Can't you see our time is up? I don't want to start over. Finally some peace and quiet since you left, so don't bother. This is how I feel now. I never had it so good. Had it so good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. Waking up early in the morning. Without you by my quiet since you left, so don't bother. This is how I feel now. I never had it so good. Had it so good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. Waking up in the middle of the night, all alone. Realizing in the middle of the night, I'm glad you're gone. I'm glad you're I never had it so good. Baby, I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good.
I'm kind of trying to bring up the spirits here because I have the worst nasal headache right now. It's just all this pressure. All this pressure that's caused by Harvard's top astronomer claiming there are over a quadrillion UFOs in space. Quadrillion. Like we really get all crazy if we find one or two that's completely unexplained. But Avi Loeb is saying a quadrillion. That's a lot. Now, Avi is known for his great hits such as new studies suggest interstellar rock Oumuamua could have been sent by aliens. That was a good one. And the other one, Harvard astrophysicist says alien tech visited Earth in 2017. And it's just the beginning. There's an armada of a quadrillion really funky looking space rock out there. I don't know what it is. I haven't read the book yet. It's like sitting right behind me. I gotta get in there. Find out what the hell he's talking about. But you gotta embrace Avi Loeb because he is a scientist who kind of believes there's ET. And there are many out there that believe that. But he doesn't care letting people know what he thinks. And he really feels that we've been visited already. It's a done deal. Stop screwing around. He says that there could be up to a quadrillion alien spacecrafts traveling through our solar system. I'm sorry, I said universe by mistake there. Because when you think about the number of quadrillion, I mean, that's like Tempest universe size. No, he's just talking about traveling through our solar system. There was a clip that I ran across when I saw this article where there's other scientists that are kind of shocked and amazed at what Oumuamua did and why it's so strange. But that's the way it works, right? Because we seem in science to look at things from the earthly perspective, and when we see something that's so strange and weird and out of place, it becomes alien because it is. But there isn't a single scientist that has said that particular rock was not interstellar. So that in it by itself makes it alien. But according to Avi, he says, and I quote, there should be one in every volume roughly the size of the orbit of the planet Earth around the sun. Basically, he's saying that in that amount of space, you should have at least one interstellar object, which could be an alien probe, hanging out in our solar system. I don't know. That might be a little bit too much, Avi. I'm just saying. He says this is a vast area in human terms, but in the immensity of space, it's pretty small. Because we know our solar system is a little shitty thing on the gigantic Tempest universe map. He says, so it means that there are plenty of them, a quadrillion of them, inside our solar system. And there are lots of them. There is no denying that Avi Loeb believes that we've been visited. There's no denying that he believes that these interstellar objects are in our solar system. The question is, what are they? And at the speed at which Oumuamua came and went, there was no time. There was zero time to think about finding a way to study it, because it was just moving too damn fast. And that's pretty freaking fast if you really think about it. That we couldn't detect it in time to actually complete a real study, when we have all these other rocks that fly through our solar system on a regular basis, and we have no problem checking them out. This is what's freaking people out. How fast it was, its characteristics. And so, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's a play on words. You know, we got to get into the book and find out. Is it a probe? I don't know. I don't think so. Is it alien? For damn sure it is. If it's interstellar, it's alien. It's not from our solar system. It didn't come from any of our asteroid belts. So it's alien, for sure. Was it an alien probe? Was it part of a piece of an alien ship? Because I saw another article where They're claiming that Avi Loeb is saying it's from an alien ship because of his shape and size. I don't know. But a quadrillion is a high-ass number for something to be hiding in our solar system. But I would not be surprised, right? I mean, we find new things in our oceans almost every other month. And that's on our own damn planet. Could you imagine all the things we have not found just in our solar system? Even in that space that Avi described. There's a ton of stuff there we don't even know about. It could be alien. It could be interstellar. There could be probes for all we know. Hell, we drop probes on our own solar system now, don't we? We crash them too. So we can crash satellites and all kind of stuff on planets in our own solar system. Why couldn't someone crash them here as well? I mean, really, are we the only ones who are interested in space and finding aliens somewhere else? Or would it be kind of natural to assume that an intelligent life form somewhere else would have the same damn curiosity? Or is it just a human trait? The funny thing, too, is that Avi said in here, and I don't know, it's missing from my notes here, but he actually said that, as far as life in the universe, that we are as humans, we're middle of the road. We're not like super special yet. We don't have superpowers. We don't fly. We don't have that great technology that we imagine in movies. So we're middle of the road. We're mediocre when it comes to the universe. And it is very possible that out there's some super beings out there that have some incredible technology. Things we've never seen before. And maybe we have over in Skinwalker Ranch. Maybe we have seen that technology that's amazing from advanced civilizations, way more advanced than we are. But the search continues, right? The search continues for that more than mediocre, intelligent life somewhere out there that may have come here or may have not. We'll figure that out shortly, I'm sure. One last song for you guys. God and Cali. This is for you.
Fired all of the bullets. Yeah, you shot me through the heart. Casting dice and roulette. The game was set right from the start. I don't wanna go, I don't wanna know, I don't want it anymore. I don't wanna go, don't wanna know, but I keep coming back for more. Crashing down and in the rain, all things are burning up in flames. We're going under, bang bang like thunder, bang bang like thunder. Crashing down and in the rain, our love will never be the same. We're going under, bang bang like thunder, bang bang like thunder. Yeah, the air's getting thinner, higher than high we go. A game with no winners. We keep pushing more and more. I don't wanna go, I don't wanna know, I don't want it anymore. I don't wanna go, don't wanna know, but I keep coming back for more. Crashing down in the rain, all things are burning up in flames. We're going under, bang bang like thunder, bang bang like thunder. We're crashing down in the rain, our
I'm not gonna get a bunch of hate comments now. I hate the music. I don't like reggae. Fast forward, fucker. That's all I'm saying. Just fast forward. You don't have to listen to it. Jeez. I see it already. I know it's coming. Anyway, that's just the way it goes. Last article, and we might have to quiz Dave about this. I don't know. He might have had something to do with this. There was a pigeon that caused some crazy, strange madness down in Australia. This is our strange article for today. Weird news. And maybe it's not so weird. Wuhan, thanks. There was a pigeon that was found out in Australia, and he was dubbed Joe the Pigeon. And it was after a president-elect at the time, Joe Biden. So they called him Joe. Hey, Joe. Hey, he's an American pigeon. Let's call him Joe. Like I could see now, the guys out in Melbourne, they're just like walking around, enjoying the pretty bird. Hey, pretty bird. Hey, pretty bird. Come here, pretty bird. And then, one guy turns to the other, like, he looks American. It's an American bird. And that's it. You execute the damn bird. They don't even play in Australia. That's what they're doing right now. If that bird looks American, you take that shit out. Take him out. Take him out completely. Yeah, so this bird apparently had a tag on his claw or whatever that said that he was from the Oklahoma-based American Racing Bird Union. And apparently, this bird might have, quote-unquote, hitched a ride all the way to Australia, about 8,000 miles away, right, from Oregon. On December the 26th, he landed in someone's backyard in Melbourne. So they told on him. Somebody snitched on the bird. Yeah, that exactly happened. They snitched on the bird. And so they're like, wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. No. This is a biorisk. We don't need no COVID-carrying pigeon coming over here. But hey, let's call him Joe. After Joe Biden. How does that work? Like you call an animal after a president-elect that you're so happy that he's in the White House now, and then you're like, fuck, we got to execute him. That's what went down. They're like, no, we can't have no stinking-ass American birds here. So Joe the bird's got to die. They have some guy from New York living in Australia running things. And, so they're going to execute the guy. They're going to take the old Joe out. And, I don't know. Was that were they trying to say something? Were they trying to say something about Joe Biden? How often do you name things you're going to execute after an American president? Yeah. How does that happen? Well, as it goes, it turns out that the group that apparently that claw tag was was made and placed on this Joe Pigeon. They said it was fake. It was a counterfeit band. That wasn't a pigeon. Joe was not from Oklahoma-based American Racing Pigeon Union. It was all fake. They said, no, that tag that's on him doesn't even belong on pigeons. It's a fake pigeon tag. So no, forget about it. And the quote is, from what they told the guys in Australia, was the bird band in Australia is counterfeit and not traceable. They don't need to kill him. All this over a fucking pigeon. Like really, whoever found him in Melbourne should have just, just looked the other way. Just turned around. And just end it. End it. It's a damn pigeon. Anyway, so, the guys in Australia, they did the investigation and they concluded Joe the Pigeon, they should have just called him Joe Biden the Pigeon, likely was an Australian pigeon. Look at that. Really? Your own citizens? Really? And it's not a biosecurity risk, according to a statement. Now, the acting Australian Prime Minister, Michael McCormack, said earlier that there wouldn't be any mercy for Joe the Pigeon if that fucker was from the United States, and we got to kill his ass. I kind of ad-libbed there, but that's what the article says. Actually, I didn't even have to ad lib because he actually said, if Joe has come in a way that has not met our strict biosecurity measures, then bad luck, Joe. There's a lot of puns in here regarding Joe Biden. Bad luck, Joe. Either fly home or face the consequences. I mean, they were not playing around. This pigeon, his goose was cooked, to be honest. Martin Fowley, the health minister for Victoria State, where Joe the Bite was living, he called for the federal government to spare the bird, even if it posed a risk. According to Foley, he says, I would urge the Commonwealth's quarantine officials to show a little bit of compassion. And into that, Addie Medic, a Victorian lawmaker for the Minor Animal Justice Party, called for a pigeon to be pardoned, for Joe. They didn't want Joe, the Biden pigeon, to go under any undue execution. And Medic also said, should the federal government allow Joe to live, I am happy to seek assurances that he is not a flight risk. So they were going to clip Joe's wings, basically. You know, the COVID-19 carrying pigeon from Wuhan. Like, who knows where the hell Joe came from at this point? Because who knows? It seems like a trap. Kind of like back over the last summer, where people were getting bags of seeds from China. That's another crazy story. Completely nuts. And they wanted people to plant the seeds at random out of China. You just get a bag of seeds. Go ahead and plant them. Freaking COVID-19 plants. They're Wuhan's specialty. I don't know. Well, anyway, Joe is alive and well. He will not be executed at all in Australia. Or at least we don't know. He could end up on somebody's table. But Joe is safe. The world can continue now. But for fuck's sake, I can understand, with the world that we live in right now, I can understand how a pigeon could cause such a reaction, you know. So, good job, Australia. I'm with you on that one. That's the end of the podcast. Don't forget to follow, share, and comment, and do whatever you need to do. Wednesday, we'll have the specifics and the link so that you guys can get in there to get 2 of these books off my hands, because they're sitting right now on my desk, and I want to send them out to you guys. So the contest specifics, in order for you to win these 2 books, will be up. And we got to get this party started. And I think I'm going to do this every month, to be honest. We're going to be giving something away just for you guys who participate in the podcast through social media and share and like and do all that other good stuff. So get ready. It's going to be a fun year. I guarantee it. Ciao.